the most expensive jewellery pieces in Hollywood films. Hollywood doesn't just tell stories, it adorns them, and some of the most breathtaking moments in cinema history weren't written into the script at all. They were clasped around a neck, slipped onto a finger, or locked inside a velvet box. We're talking about jewellery so rare, so devastatingly expensive, that armed guards had to be hired just to keep them on set. Some pieces carried centuries of royal blood on their chains. One was inspired by a diamond so cursed its previous owners lost their thrones. Another was shut in a box, not in the script, and became the most iconic movie moment of an entire decade. These aren't props, these are legends, and today, we're opening every single box. Satine's diamond necklace from the Duke. By Stefano Canturi for Moulin Rouge, 2001. Estimated value, $1 million. In Baz Luhrmann's fever dream musical Moulin Rouge, there is a scene that crackles with moral tension like few others in cinema. The Duke, powerful, entitled, and utterly convinced that love is something you purchase, presents Satine, played by the luminous Nicole Kidman, with a necklace that doesn't just glitter, it suffocates. A cascade of cold, blinding diamonds draped around the throat of a woman already secretly in love with someone else entirely, a penniless poet named Christian, played by Ewan McGregor, who has taught her that love cannot be bought. The necklace itself was no ordinary film prop. Australian jewellery designer Stefano Canturi was commissioned specifically to create it for the 2001 production, a bespoke piece that would look as morally heavy as it was physically magnificent. The result was a 134-carat diamond necklace composed of 1,308 individually set diamonds, constructed to cascade dramatically across the collarbone. Upon its debut, it held the record as the most expensive piece of jewellery ever created specifically for a motion picture, valued at $1 million. The contrast between its brilliance and the darkness of the scene it inhabited made it unforgettable. Even today, jewellery scholars and film historians cite it as proof that adornment can be a form of cruelty just as much as a gift. The One Ring by Jens Hansen. Gold and silversmith for the Lord of the Rings. Estimated value, $50,000 to $75,000 per ring. No piece of jewellery in the history of cinema carries more narrative weight than the One Ring. In J.R.R. Tolkien's universe, this is the singular object around which the fate of an entire world hinges, forged in secret by the Dark Lord Sauron to control 11 other rings of power, and therefore the will of kings, elves and dwarves alike. In Peter Jackson's trilogy, the young hobbit Frodo Baggins, played with heartbreaking earnestness by Elijah Wood, carries this ring across impossible distances, knowing it must be destroyed in the fires of Mount Doom before it destroys everything else. New Zealand-based jewellers Jens Hansen Gold and Silversmith were entrusted with bringing Tolkien's ring to physical life. No small task for an object described only in an ancient script. They crafted 15 rings in total from 18-carat gold, each varying in size to accommodate different camera angles, close-ups and actors' hands across the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy and the Hobbit series. The design, deceptively simple on its surface, a plain gold band, yet engraved with elvish script that glows fiery red only in flame. It is the understatement of the ring's appearance that makes it so terrifying in the story. Jens Hansen passed away before the films were released, but his workshop continues to sell replicas to this day, with demand still extraordinary decades later. Few props in film history have so perfectly married restraint with consequence. Carrie Bradshaw's engagement ring. By Itai Malkin for Sex and the City, 2008. Value, approximately $150,000. 6 seasons of television built the audience up to this moment. Mr. Big, the on-again, off-again love of Carrie Bradshaw's entire adult life, finally gets down on one knee. And in true Carrie Bradshaw fashion, the ring he presents is anything but conventional. Designer Itai Malkin crafted for this pivotal scene an avant-garde engagement ring centered on a 5-carat black diamond, rare, dramatic, defiant of every traditional expectation, encircled by 80 transparent pave diamonds that caught the light like a constellation. Sarah Jessica Parker, whose portrayal of Carrie turned the character into a genuine cultural institution, wore the ring with a kind of practiced ease that only confirmed what audiences already believed. Carrie Bradshaw and Conventional were never going to share a sentence. The ring is estimated to be worth approximately $150,000. It became an instant icon, sparking global conversations about the legitimacy of black diamonds as engagement stones and influencing bridal jewellery trends for years that followed. In a show built on fashion as self-expression, this ring was perhaps the ultimate thesis statement. Rubies and diamonds set for the opera. Borrowed by Marilyn Vance Straker for Pretty Woman, 1990. Value, $1.35 million. The scene was never in the script. Richard Gere's character opens the red velvet box, revealing a necklace of 23 pair-cut rubies nestled within diamond hearts, matched by a pair of earrings, then snaps it shut the moment Julia Roberts' hand reaches for it. She laughs, he laughs, the camera catches everything. Director Gary Marshall kept it because it felt so genuinely real that removing it would have been a crime. And in that single unscripted moment, a piece of jewellery costing $1.35 million became the most talked about accessory in 1990s popular culture. The set was borrowed by costume designer Marilyn Vance Straker, and its value was so significant that armed bodyguards accompanied the jewels throughout the entire duration of filming. On set, between scenes, at all hours. The blood-red gown Julia Roberts wears to the opera in that scene has been recreated and exhibited in fashion retrospectives worldwide. The rubies and diamonds she wore with it? Considered by many stylists and film scholars to be the moment that re-established fine jewellery as the ultimate cinematic storytelling device. One box, one snap. 35 years of cultural permanence. Marilyn's glittery best friend. Borrowed from Maya Rosebum for Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, 1953. Value, priceless. When Marilyn Monroe descended a staircase in Gentlemen Prefer Blondes wearing a pink cocktail dress with an enormous bow ribbon and performed Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend, she did so wearing a piece of diamond history so old and so travelled. It had already survived 2 continents, multiple royal dynasties, and at least one theft before it reached her collarbone. The Moon of Baroda, a 24-carat pear-shaped yellow canary diamond suspended on a choker necklace, had been in the possession of the Maharaja of Baroda in India for over 500 years before the 18th century saw it transferred to Austrian Empress Maria Theresa. It was then stolen, returned to Baroda, held for another 2 centuries, and eventually purchased by American collector Maya Rosebum, who lent it to Monroe for the film. The diamond's canary yellow hue was extraordinary against the pink of her gown, a visual contrast that cinematographers understood immediately. That performance became one of the most referenced moments in entertainment history, reproduced by Madonna, Nicole Kidman, and countless others. The Moon of Baroda's value today is considered essentially incalculable, given its provenance, rarity, and historical weight. Holly Golightly's Diamonds and Pearl Strand. By Tiffany and Company for Breakfast at Tiffany's, 1961. Value, estimated $900,000. The opening frames of Breakfast at Tiffany's established the grammar of modern elegance. Audrey Hepburn, as Holly Golightly, steps out of a taxi on an empty Fifth Avenue at dawn in a black Givenchy gown and quietly eats a croissant while gazing through Tiffany's window, the city still asleep around her. At her neck, a multi-strand pearl and diamond necklace by Tiffany & Co. paired with a diamante hair ornament catching the early morning light. There was nothing loud about it, and that was precisely the point. Hepburn's performance, and the jewellery she wore, redefined what it meant for a woman to be aspirational on film. Not dripping in excess, but composed, dreaming quietly, worth looking at. The Tiffany pieces complemented Givenchy's dress so precisely that the combination launched a fashion revolution that fashion editors still reference today. The necklace is estimated conservatively at approximately $900,000 in today's market, though its cultural value, the extent to which it shaped what jewellery means in cinema, is impossible to price. The Heart of the Ocean. Commissioned from Harry Winston for Titanic, 1997. Value, $4 million. In James Cameron's Titanic, The heart of the ocean is presented as a rare blue diamond that once belonged to King Louis XVI, fashioned into the shape of a heart following the French Revolution, then lost with the ship. In the film, Billy Zane's character, Cal, fastens it around Kate Winslet's neck, with the possessive certainty of a man who believes love is a transaction. The piece used on screen was a prop, but so overwhelming was Titanic's cultural impact that producers commissioned Harry Winston, arguably the world's most storied jewellery house, to create a real version. They replaced the fictional blue diamond with a 170-carat Ceylon blue sapphire, surrounding it with 103 diamonds set in platinum. The finished piece was valued at $4 million. For its debut, Gloria Stewart played the elderly Rose in the film, wore it to the Academy Awards the night she was nominated for Best Supporting Actress. It was reported at the time to be the most expensive piece of jewellery ever worn at the Oscars. The Hope Diamond, which directly inspired the piece's fictional backstory, is valued today at approximately $250 million. The Heart of the Ocean borrowed only its legend, but borrowed it brilliantly. Andy's Diamond Necklace for the Frost Ball, by Harry Winston for How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, 2003. Value $5 million. This is the one that holds the record. For the climactic frostball sequence in the 2003 romantic comedy How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, Harry Winston lent the production a staggering $14 million worth of jewellery for a single scene. The centrepiece, worn by Kate Hudson as Andy, was a 51.94-carat yellow sapphire pendant set on an 84-carat Isadora diamond necklace. It is, to this day, the single most expensive piece of jewellery ever created specifically for a motion picture, valued at $5 million. The production was so aware of what they had on set that costume designers created an entirely new gown for Hudson, specifically to complement the necklace, not the other way around. The Frost Ball's entire premise revolved around diamonds, which made the jewellery central to the storytelling itself rather than merely decorative. Harry Winston's involvement elevated what might have been a conventional romantic comedy climax into one of the most visually arresting scenes in the genre's history. The image of Hudson in that necklace remained on the cover of fashion publications for months after the film's release. Dorothy's Ruby Slippers, designed by Gilbert Adrian for The Wizard of Oz, 1939. Most recent auction estimate, $3 to $7 million per pair. They are not made of rubies, they are sequined theatrical shoes designed by Gilbert Adrian for MGM's 1939 production. And yet they are, arguably, the most valuable footwear in the history of cinema. Rarer, more elusive and more culturally weighted than almost anything else on this list. At least 7 pairs are believed to exist. Only 4 have been definitively accounted for. The first emerged from a dusty MGM storage facility, eventually found its way through a collector to Debbie Reynolds, then was auctioned in 1979 for $15,000 to a collector who donated it to the Smithsonian, where it remains on permanent display. Leonardo DiCaprio purchased what is considered the most significant known pair, labelled No. 7 Judy Garland aka Witch's Shoe, and donated it to the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences for museum display. Lady Gaga reportedly received a pair as a gift for her 25th birthday, and one pair, loaned to a Minnesota museum by collector Michael Shaw, was stolen in 2005, creating a media frenzy and an outstanding $1 million reward from an anonymous party for its safe return, a reward that, as of this writing, remains unclaimed. In 2023 auction estimates, individual authenticated pairs have been valued between $3 million and $7 million, not bad for sequins and film magic. Doris Day's Sexy 50s Jewelry Collection, by Lakinetzi for Pillow Talk, 1959. Value $500,000, equivalent to $4.1 million today. The assignment given to Lakinetzi, a prestigious jewelry firm established in 1932, was blunt and ambitious in equal measure. Dress Doris Day in something that would make audiences forget every wholesome musical she'd ever made. For Pillow Talk, the firm sourced a collection of pieces worth $500,000, approximately $4.1 million in today's currency, making it the largest jewelry loan for a film at that time. Costume designer Jean-Louis created between 18 and 24 individual costumes for the production, Each designed to reframe Day's image as both elegant and provocative, the jewellery was selected to reinforce that shift. Statement necklaces, jewelled earrings, and gemstone set bracelets that moved with her and caught light in ways the camera loved. Day's decision to take the role, a bold departure from her established image, combined with Lewis's designs and Lakenet's jewellery, produced something culturally seismic, proof that one film, one wardrobe, and one set of borrowed jewels could completely rewrite a star's story. The Savoy Headpiece by Tiffany & Cupper for The Great Gatsby, 2013. Value, $200,000. Baz Luhrmann's maximalist 2013 adaptation of F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby demanded jewellery that felt simultaneously period accurate and cinematically overwhelming. Tiffany & Company rose to the occasion, creating or sourcing more than 150 Art Deco pieces for the production. The most celebrated was the Savoy headpiece, a Tiffany-designed brooch valued at $200,000, worn against the dazzling opulence of a 1920s costume that itself had become a fashion talking point. The headpiece embodied everything Fitzgerald was writing about. The shimmer of new money, the seduction of surfaces, the devastating beauty of things that cannot last. The Toussaint necklace. Replica commissioned for Ocean's 8, 2018. Original Cartier piece valued at over $150 million. In Ocean's 8, the entire heist revolves around a single piece of jewellery, the Toussaint, a Cartier necklace that the film's all-female team of thieves plot to steal from the Met Gala. The necklace worn by Anne Hathaway in the film is a replica, but what it replicates is extraordinary. The original piece was a genuine 1931 Cartier creation, originally designed for the Maharaja of Nawanagar, featuring a 93.6 carat diamond as its centerpiece. Its estimated value exceeds $150 million. The replica used in the film was crafted with the full creative guidance of Cartier, who consulted extensively with the production to ensure historical and aesthetic accuracy. That Cartier would commit resources to recreating one of their most storied pieces for a Hollywood heist film speaks to the singular power this necklace holds in fine jewellery history. The Camellia Poudre Diamond Necklace by Chanel Haute Joaillerie for Anna Karenina, 2012. Value, approximately $3 million. Joe Wright's visually daring 2012 adaptation of Tolstoy's Anna Karenina was always going to be a world unto itself, a film built inside a theatre where the sets themselves folded and transformed. For Keira Knightley as the doomed Anna, the costuming department worked with Chanel's Haute Joaillerie collection, drawing on several extraordinary pieces for the production. The Camellia Poudre diamond necklace, delicate white petal-shaped diamonds arranged in the house's iconic camellia motif, was among the most significant, valued at approximately $3 million. Its architectural precision felt utterly right for a film preoccupied with the beautiful structures that trap people inside them. Knightley wore it in scenes of devastating social consequence, which gave the piece an emotional weight beyond its physical value. Bulgari's Le Magnifique necklace. For House of Gucci, 2021. Value, $625,000. Lady Gaga's portrayal of Patrizia Reggiani in House of Gucci, the real-life woman who orchestrated her ex-husband's murder, required jewellery that radiated dangerous beauty. Bulgari's Le Magnifique collection was the answer. The centerpiece piece worn by Gaga, a ruby and diamond necklace featuring 77 round-cut diamonds set around deep red rubies, valued at over $625,000. In a film where clothing and jewellery functioned as weapons of social climbing, the Bulgari necklace did exactly what great film jewellery should. It told us everything about the character wearing it before she spoke a word. Patrizia Reggiani, in real life and in Gaga's interpretation, understood that to be seen was to have power. The necklace made certain she was seen. The next time a character reaches for a necklace, opens a box or slips on something that catches the light, pay attention. Because in Hollywood, the most valuable things are always the ones they almost don't show you.